Family Leonardo, me Nasila did on multimedia, the CEO Voice of Salon. Today I come for talk to now, my family, make una continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel and share to our friends them. As we always try to bring for the latest news what they happen around Salon, whether it be politics or any other news them, what they happen or gossip, what they bring out to una live and direct. So please, my family, don't forget to subscribe and share to our friends them. You wanna touch the bell icon so that you no miss any video we will try for bring out to una. So that's also we want make una don't forget also for subscribe to we TikTok channel on TikTok and also on Facebook or Facebook page or the Voice of Salon or also the on Instagram Voice of Salon, please family. And don't forget to share. Okay, thank you now. Tata.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله حسبنا الله ونعم الحكيم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله إن أمره يراد الشأن أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون ما بعد السلام عليكم يا جماعة والمسلمين والمسلمات. Shalom to we Christian brothers and sisters, both home and the diaspora. This and the golden voice of the APC Encyclopedia, the Britannica, the socio-political analyst, the voice of the voiceless, the whistleblower, the lion of the social media, the regional publicity secretary, Southern Region, under the ticket of the mighty, indomitable All People's Congress Party. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, fellow comrades, fellow listeners all over the globe, as we know, say the encyclopedia media always embark on civic education for continue for educate, inform, sensitize, conscientize, and raise awareness. So we people there, now we lovely and daily Mama Salon on daily happenings and on burning issues. So we stay tuned, we stay fixed, we stay blessed, we stay connected to the encyclopedia media for ono listening pleasure is absolutely guaranteed. TGIT, thank God today now Tuesday, the 7th October 2025. With civic education today, ladies and gentlemen, they go now with national constitution, with sacred constitution, when at the 1991 democratic constitution of the Republic of Sierra Leone. We talk about the fundamental obligations of government in chapter 2, Act 1991 of the Sierra Leone National Constitution. We talk about the fundamental obligation of government, when a government and the people. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, government and the people. Now, in our topic today, fellow Sierra Leoneans, now for tell we listeners, tell the people of Sierra Leone, say, the fight for electoral justice, a democratic, the fight for electoral justice, a constitutional, the fight for electoral justice, a legal, the fight for electoral justice, a ethical, and the fight for electoral justice, a resonate to the 1991 multi-party democratic constitution of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Even though some saboteurs there, some critic there, and saloparic ning on poop there, then they go and talk, say, me don't be PRO for electoral justice. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand for the truth. I stand for justice. I stand for the Constitution of Sierra Leone. I stand for the Constitution of the All People's Congress Party, not to leadership at the follow. Now, we team bind we together. When at the 2022 APC Constitution, I they follow anybody we go against that Constitution, they are not going to agree with them. Now, I make a stand for electoral justice. So when now they go and say, me na PRO for electoral justice, yes, I get a praise because I stand for justice. And anybody will stand for justice, now God want. So I stand for electoral justice, yeah? And I they continue for stand for electoral justice, ladies and gentlemen. So today, we're topic the common at the 1991 Constitution about the government and the people. We're in section 5, subsection 1 of the Sierra Leone 1991 Constitution. where say the Republic of Sierra Leone shall be a state based on the principles of freedom, democracy, and justice. Ladies and gentlemen, waiting the constitution they try for tell we. When at section 5, subsection 1, it said the Republic of Sierra Leone, the country of Sierra Leone, for be a country where based on the principles of freedom, the principle of democracy and justice. Here, the Constitution emphasized the three tangibles: the adherence, the conformity, the compliance, and the enforceability of the Constitution. So the principle of freedom, the principle of democracy, and the principles of justice, we suggest say the fight for electoral justice, a legal, a democratic, a patriotic, a nationalistic, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, and democratic, where they interned with the dictates of a sacred 1991 democratic constitution of the Republic of Sierra Leone, when are the supreme law of the land and any other law were inconsistent with the 1991 constitution, then declare it null and void and gets no effect. When I see section 171, subsection 15 of the 1991 constitution, we talk about the supremacy of the Sierra Leone constitution. We say the constitution of Sierra Leone is supreme. Nobody else is supreme. Everybody for the under the law. Now, let we analyze analytically, ladies and gentlemen, and substantiatively the principles of freedom, the principles of democracy and justice. For the one day, when our conspirators them, we don't conspire for slaughter, we had and democracy. Now, the Republic of Sierra Leone, fellow listeners, ladies and gentlemen, comrades all. Now, the principles of freedom in a democratic state. The principle of freedom include we fundamental rights there, like the freedom of speech, the freedom of religion, and the freedom of association. Economic freedom, short as free markets there and equal opportunity and the rule of law. Now for ensure accountability and equal treatment for all. The concept also intertwined with the universal principle like equality, like responsibility, like tolerance, and the absence of fear and want. Ladies and gentlemen, them principles of freedom here, them visible today, Mrsta Salone, under the hypocritical sell-out and tyrannic conspirators them, where they pretend say they're democratic, while they're not democratic. Wherein citizens then they slaughter them in cold blood extrajudicially, then they torture the citizens then they disenfranchise the citizens then they jail them, then they force them to exile. Ladies and gentlemen, belonging today to a political party, vis-a-vis the All People's Congress Party, and stand for the truth, my hell on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, son in the houses them burn them. Youth man they die today by the pauper imported killer drug we then call Kush. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, we get a government where they allow the citizens then for register, the citizens then for let them go vote, the citizens then for let them exercise their franchise, then delete over 250,000 voters then from the final voter register just for disenfranchised citizens there because of the patrilineal nomenclature, police brutality, military high-handedness, judicial and social injustice are the order of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow listeners, so the key principle of democratic freedom, number one, now the fundamental human right. When are the freedom for express yourself, the freedom for belong to a religion, the freedom for lay assembly, the freedom for lay associate yourself to a political party, the freedom for seek, for receive and impact information, we essential for a free and a democratic society today under this regime. We know they get that freedom day. Economic freedom, when are the principles of free market and equal opportunity for all for participate and benefit from the economic activities of the state were crucial for prosperity. All anything in they not they happen. They will not call her a democracy. When they woke against the 1991 constitution, the rule of law, based on the principle where they ensure say they lost them, therefore apply them fairly and equally to everyone that the country, protect individuals then from arbitrary power, and ensure accountability. Is that, ladies and gentlemen, today, under the SLPP Pauper John Taribel Kamajo regime, ladies and gentlemen, is there any freedom? Is there any rule of law? The answer is emphatic no. So short tyrannic acts and unconstitutional, undemocratic, and abuse of power, whose side the rule of law is selective and biased. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no freedom. Fellow listeners, we get what we call self-determination and peace. This is the right to peace. Every citizen forget peace. You're free from threats. You're free from aggression. You're free from oppression. When I call tenant of a free society, here under the pauper, today we day under political slavery, they hold the country to hostage, they hold the country to ransom, they hold the country to executive captivity and a perpetual cycle. Equality and non-discrimination. Waiting this mean to be listeners there. Freedom requires equality before the law and the absence of discrimination. Now for ensure say all voices for be heard and everybody for participate in public life. Now tell me the liberty and the political freedom and which are the voices of the people is heard. Waiting and do then thwart the will of the people, then thwart the voice of the people. We are in citizens then they vote, they not they count them votes, their voices they not they heard, then stole we rights, then thief we election, then thief with freedom and with democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, and all them people then they will do them thing and they are protected with impunity. Show say then they above the law. The politicians then and the Kamajo Junta Syria killers then they are protected. Where is the equality before the law? Then rule criminals then. When a celebrated election thieves them, then once law be silenced. It is a non-starter. Fellow listeners, the historical context and the broader concept, the four freedoms then, now a significant concept then, were articulated by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt of the United States of America. We talk about the four freedoms then. We include the freedom of speech, the freedom of worship, the freedom from want, and the freedom from fear. Today we live in a tyrannic and a dictatorial regime whose side they kill citizens in cold blood for inject fear in the citizens then, so that they go withhold political power and rule the people of Sierra Leone on a stolen mandate. Ladies and gentlemen, according to Terence McSweeney in Principle of Freedom, this work they explore freedom as a moral and a spiritual imperative where they link personal integrity and justice for the struggle for political independence, the ethics and the responsibility. Freedom, now the foundational ethics where they enable individuals then for make morally significant choices and for be accountable to their actions there. The components of a free society, now accountability, now openness and tolerance and responsibility. Accountability, the government and the private entities them, therefore responsible for uphold freedom and prevent violation. Here, ladies and gentlemen, they want the way they govern we, that they violate we rights, that they usurp with political freedom, with democratic freedom, and with fundamental human rights. The openness and tolerance. This now for foster a spirit of openness and tolerance, very essential for a vibrant society wherein diverse viewpoints then will be expressed. But oh yeah, today, at the contrary, responsibility, individuals then, and collective responsibility, the necessary for protect and advance the principles of freedom. Where are the principles of freedom? In order to do, ladies and gentlemen, we come out to the principles of democracy. The principle of democracy, they feature and they determine, and they often include the freedom of assembly, the freedom of association, personal liberty, personal property, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of citizenship, consent of the governed, and we voting rights them, and freedom from unwarranted governmental deprivation of the right to life, liberty, and the minority their rights. We get the 14 principles of democracy, where the Constitution talks say Sierra Leone shall be a state based on the principles of freedom, justice, and democracy. Now we talk about the principles of democracy. And according to philosophers then, they mention 14 principles of democracy. Number one, that the participation of citizens there. Number two, na equality. Number three, na accountability. Number four, na transparency. Number five, na political tolerance. Number six, na multi-party system. Number seven, na control over the abuse of power. Number eight, na the freedom of the economy. Number nine, na the Bill of Rights. Number 10, na the human rights. Number 11, na free and fair election. Number 12, we forget free courts there. Number 13, na for accept election result. And number 14, na the rule of law. So tell me, if them 14 principles of democracy, yeah, then they work in a salon. They don't violate them, they don't bastardize them, they don't mutilate them, they don't usurp them, they don't naked we from their rights they are. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, they don't agree. Let citizens they participate fully. Then they beat voters them for go vote. Then they arrest voters, then they lock them. He they go for go register. You don't pass 18 years. Then they stop you. Go out yellow. Go out green. Ladies and gentlemen, birth certificate. Wherein the Constitution of Sierra Leone, when at section 32, it talks say any citizen of Sierra Leone, we don't take 18 years and above, and a day of sound mind, he get the right for registrar, and he get the right for vote in public elections and referenda. They not give no other criteria. But they want they are. They come with the NIN, when are the national identification number, violating the Constitution of Sierra Leone. Where the 1991 Constitution, section 171, subsection 15 say, the Constitution of Sierra Leone na in the supreme law of the land. Any other law where they against that or were inconsistent to that constitution, they void and of no effect. Ladies and gentlemen, today no participation of citizens, no equality, no accountability, no transparency, no political tolerance, no multi-party democracy. In fact, them small party, they don't kill them. Now the two giant party there, now the two don't left. They all don't conspire against the people of Sierra Leone. Today the ruling and the opposition, they don't conspire against their own citizen. There is no freedom of economy. There is no bill of right. Instead, they count the cyber law for all citizens then they count with the criminal justice system. Then have been trial by jury, or now not trial by judge alone. Let them do citizens then what they want. And then they ask the consent of the citizen. Now what they want, now they do na parliament. That overstand parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, no rights, no freedom, no free and fair elections. Ladies and gentlemen, they know they accept credible election results. Ladies and gentlemen, everything for be pauper, everything for be by babati. Ladies and gentlemen, we talk about the rule of law. Democratic society, they operate under the rule of law and not to the rule of man when our power back. This essentially means say a nation in law for apply equally to all citizens, to all people there, everybody, especially the government. Therefore, play by the rules. It means say the rights and freedoms and democratic processes there, therefore be respected and for be nurtured. But today we get two sets of law. The one they within our power, the law we then get, and the law we they use for pursue citizens then for do their what they want. Here in a country we are in, then conduct election, then declare a winner without no result, then bastardize and slaughter the electoral laws then, the 1991 constitution, they not certify the result, they not authenticate the result, they not publicize or do publication of the result, they not gazette the election result. Ladies and gentlemen, over 2 years now, they will not call on democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, if una pretty sure say una win the elections, una pass the exam, they don't force una take the people of Sierra Leone, the international community, una poor result, no result. ECSL will conduct the election, una poor result, there is no result. Then certain people then gladly will short the situation. Anybody will get sense. When a right thinking Sierra Leonean citizen, shorting happen in a country, if we ain't got. If we they not redress this situation, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, why the imbecilic educated fools then they tell we say the fight for electoral justice is illegal, ladies and gentlemen, in a democratic state. Accepting election results, when elections then conduct them, now a country, and when the elections then not go the way of the one the way they in power, therefore accept the result and step down. Because the peaceful transfer of power now they define the democratic process. Losers then of elections therefore accept defeats and therefore accept say their position in all they are present, in all get the majority then support. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow listeners, comrades all, both home and the diaspora. But yeah, they say they're not for lose election. They're for thief election, they're for capo election, they're for usurp elections, and impose themselves on the people of Sierra Leone. Now we come to the principles of justice. The principle of justice, now a legal context, and typically understood as fairness, equality, and access. Fairness, this ensures say just processes there and outcomes they happen. Equality means say everybody for be treated the same under the law, and the access now the ability for people there for understand and engage with the legal system, and then principles they are therefore ensure say the law is applicable to everybody if applied properly, and individual their rights and the public trust in the legal system if will be maintained. But today, there is no public trust in the legal system because they want the within our power illegitimately, where they rule the people of Sierra Leone on a stolen mandate. Now then they regulate the judiciary, now they regulate the parliament, now then they do everything where they want. Fairness, what did this mean in the principles of justice? Legal processes there for be just, and all parties there for receive a fair hearing. This they include the appropriate and the proportionate punishment for different offenses. How this could be achieved? Fair hearing means say everybody forgets a proper chance for present the case, for ensure legal processes and not bias. Ladies and gentlemen, here today we get two sets of laws. Ladies and gentlemen, now we your own country. Oh, Mama Salone. Equality, what does this mean? Everybody for be treated equally before the law, regardless of that person they in background, in region, in political affiliation, in linguistical ties, or in status. But under the power per state Luther's government, the rule of law is selective. Ladies and gentlemen, then they manhandle citizens then, they victimize citizens then they terrorize citizens then they dehumanize citizens then they oppress the citizens then they suppress the citizens then they thwart the will of the people where they vote, not so that they determine the outcome of election. But the electoral are jumpy there, where they pick from the southeast, now then they determine the voice of the people, treating people unequally. How this could be achieved? The legal system for provide an equal opportunity for everybody, for present the case, for prevent discrimination, and for ensure impartial treatment. Access, which this mean? People they need for know about the law, therefore understand the right and get the ability for pursue their rights then they. How this could be achieved? Access they involve the clear information about laws, the timely access to court and the tribunals there, and for remove barriers there, like the cost of language differences. Without access, it difficult for let somebody engage with the justice system and obtain a just outcome. So this is how Sierra Leone National Constitution, Section 5, Subsection 1, analyze analytically the principles of freedom, the principles of democracy and justice. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow listeners, this now for the educated full step, where don't become unwise. Ladies and gentlemen, where they call the fight for electoral justice as illegal, meaning nobody not for talk about justice again and Mrsta Salone. So a country, a nation, a democratic society, we see justice as a poison. That country they is doomed. God will cause that country day, and that country day could be a hell on earth for the citizens there. We are in the three citizens there, like slave. We are in slavery. They don't abolish her long ago and replace her with democracy. This is not a blatant abuse and disregard for the 1991 democratic constitution, ladies and gentlemen, and we 2022 Public Elections Act, the gross abuse of political party and constitution, fellow Sierra Leoneans, the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, and the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights, when an ICCPR, the Geneva Convention, the Maputo Protocols, and the Rome Statute, when exploitative political bandits they lack ethical morality, that nation they could become a failed nation. Wherein citizens they don't get no right for stand for the right, for stand for justice, for stand for equality, for stand for democracy and the rule of law. Wherein there is no checks and balances, wherein there is no check on the abuse of power, wherein there is no rule of law, no justice for the poor, no transparency, no accountability. Ladies and gentlemen, the one they were in power and the main opposition, then they use the state and the state resources as their own personal property or family property. Ladies and gentlemen, now I make section 5 subsection 1 of the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone say Sierra Leone is a state where for base on the principles of freedom, democracy, and justice. We get the 5 importance of justice. Number 1, now the access to resources. Number 2, now equity. Number 3, now participation. Number 4, now diversity. And number 5, now human rights. We get the 4 elements of justice, when are law, liberty, rights, and equality. We get the 2 pillars of justice. Waiting at the 2 pillars of justice. In Latin, we get nemo judice in causa sua. No one should be made a judge in his own cause. And we get the rule against bias when a odi alterem partem, meaning now for hear the other part, or no one for be condemned on hard. This now for you, the Boatic Efulefu, Kasho Olan Code, where they call the fight for electoral justice as illegal. Now, I don't quote now the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone, when at Section 5, subsection 1, we say the Republic of Sierra Leone for based on the principles of freedom, democracy, and justice. Now, Kasha Olan Code, the 2028 sell out brown envelope cocaine political bandits there, waiting at the aims and objective for form a political party. The APC 2022 party constitution, it clearly and emphatically spelled out say the APC, the informer, for let them contest elections, win election democratically, form governance, and better the lives of citizens. These are the aims and objectives. But how on earth, when they go win elections, the unprogressive and the Munko politics of the current Some People's Congress leadership, they say we win, no, but then we left her for 2028. Gamble the lives of Sierra Leoneans. Then people then support us there, where they don't slaughter. They support us there, where they don't kill. They support us there, where they don't die on that temple run. They support us there, where they languish in exile. They support us there, where they kill them body there, seize them body there, go bury them in mass graves, as if not ownerless dogs there. 303 supporters of the APC, they arrest them, they lock them, TTT, their family, they not see them. Then the All People's Congress Party, they say, "Look, move on." Then Kasha, they go talk, say, the fight for electoral justice is illegal. We are in the Constitution, Section 5, subsection 1, tell we say, Sierra Leone is state, way for peace in the principles of freedom, democracy, and justice. Where the freedom today, where the democracy, where the justice, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Albert Jotembi, after his vice presidency, he remained as a statesman. He go do in private life and forget about politics until Allah call on him. He stay away from the SLPP politics. The same thing happens to President Ahmad Tijan Kaba of blessed memory. The same thing happened to Solomon Dominic Ekuma Berewa. But unfortunately, for we and the All People's Congress Party, we get a leader and chairman for life. We see the APC as your personal property that it will continue for undermine the party, it will continue for remote the party, it will continue for manipulate the party, it will continue for circumvent the party, it will continue for double dabala the party, and now in for determine whether for be president under the ticket of the All People's Congress Party. All the one they will bring from the SLPP and Kangot there, now the APC, all the one day we been groomed from in past governments, all the Munko politics, the bad heart politics, the Rikishi, the Dabaru politics, where then they play today, then they still Bootslika. Ladies and gentlemen, policy we don't destroy this country, yeah. Policy we tell we say 2018 na regime change. The APC win, he take the power, he hand over to Power Papio, he tell we say, he no go left with opposition. 2023, he go hand over power, give 2023 now this direction he take. Then people then they celebrate him birthday. Eh, Salome, let God help we. People then they worship, then compete human being. They don't get no fairness for Subhanallah wa ta'ala. Only for this material world, for this material benefit. Bal tesiruna la hayat dunya wala akhiratu khairun wa abqa. The click of this world. Now, no more people than they fall and they go perish tomorrow, the year after. Mortal man, if you not to him papa, not to him uncle, not to him pikin, not to him niece, not to him nephew, then kill, he don't care. Evangelist Samson, they wouldn't kill. Today, then people then they feel the pain. Metro Mawa then, we then kill. Then people then they feel the pain. The one day with the massacre, August 10, na Tokolimba, na Tombo, na Pandema Road, na September 11. Then what that day? Then Honorable Sharif Keru then. We brother Sule Issa Kamara, where they slaughter Nabunda P, all the thousands of people that where they don't kill, then people then they suffer. But the one day where they knock them just today, they not kill none of them family. But when I remember, say, Yamfa, if you bad like wet, he they send and far he end under a foot. The same way Papa implement now the SLPP and attack the SLPP. Now the same way today, the Kuroma political bootlickers there, they want Portuguese and the All People's Congress Party. But unfortunately for them don't face the wrath of the APC grassroots. Ladies and gentlemen, where the All People's Congress Party not go be attacked, not go be compacted by some People's Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, the battle has been drawn. The battle line has been drawn, ladies and gentlemen. So, according to great philosophers there, with critical thinking, with ethical morality, with great wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, we're patriotic, we're God fearing, and as the educated wise, then distinguish two types of rights then. We get with natural rights, we are the God-given rights to all rights thinking human beings then, and legal rights. The rights, oh forget, now society through a legal system, through a national constitution, not in a scenario wherein the educated become unwise and the uneducated the wise. Now they happen today. Now, Masalone, we get the five key principles of human rights, we known as panel, Panel. Panel, participation, accountability, non-discrimination and equality, empowerment, and legality. Participation, everybody for entitled to active participation in decision making processes where they affect the enjoyment of the right. We get the three types of justice there in ethics. We could be boiled down into three types. We get distributive justice, we get retributive justice, and restorative justice. The components of justice now distributive, corrective, and commutative. Fellow listeners, comrades all, both home and the diaspora. Distributive justice, ladies and gentlemen, is an equity where center on the manner in which with the benefits from the problems then where we get in our society and how them for be allocated. We get corrective justice. This is related to how individuals then for be punished for the misdeed, for the wrongdoing, especially the one then we undermine, we had and democracy, we lead to the losing of thousands of innocent lives there. Ladies and gentlemen, therefore face corrective justice. They will get commutative justice. This is the focus on the method for achieve a fair decision between people there, where them believe that somebody they don't mistreat them. Vis-a-vis the way how then corrupt political Santipokiat there, then gang up together fraudulently for mistreat His Excellency, the President-elect, Dr. Samura Matiwisin Kamara. As human beings then, we endow with the following human rights then. We get the right to life, the right to freedom, the right to freedom from torture, the right to equal treatment before the law, the right to freedom of movement, the right for return to your own country, the right to political asylum, the right to marriage, the right to freedom of thought, the right to freedom of education, the right to political participation, you for vote and you for be voted for, and you vote for be counted, and the right for own property. That did not happen today. Now, Mama Salone, ladies and gentlemen, fellow listeners, comrades all, both home and the diaspora. Now, I make today, ladies and gentlemen, we can deliberate on Section 5, subsection 1 of the 1991 Constitution, where say the Republic of Sierra Leone shall be a state based on the principles of freedom, democracy, and justice. Here today, they say we fight for your freedom, where you fight for democracy, where you fight for justice, they say it illegal, according to Cassia Oil and Coal. So they go against the constitution. They will not respect constitution. Waiting they want the rule of man, but however night long, ladies and gentlemen, though must sleep. Fellow listeners, comrades all, both home and the diaspora. So now make ladies and gentlemen, we they continue for educate we people on the fight for electoral justice. We they continue for educate we people for let them understand their constitutional right, the democratic right. Say now then get the right inside democracy because democracy now the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, ladies and gentlemen, and the people now therefore determine which government way for rule them. Now the people then they vote and determine which government will they want, fellow Sierra Leoneans. But today, voting now with democracy in all value, ladies and gentlemen. Waiting value today, that Mama Salone, ladies and gentlemen, then go sit down a corner, they arrange say, where you rule for 10 years, you thief, myself come and rule for 10 years, a thief. Now that democracy today, they na Mama Salone. But fellow Sierra Leoneans, Lord we know say, the end go justify the means. A mortal man, not to God, oh, ladies and gentlemen. So Lord, we take time. What will they do now the world? Lord will not say mortal man, not to God. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, but I'm not to God. We don't see people that we don't do waiting past this. Then just tell them. Then mosquitoes them. Therefore the Sabana Sanko them. Then yeah, Jameh them. Then Gaddafi them. Then Field Marshal Idi Amin Dada them. Whose side in they today? Ladies and gentlemen, Pakaba them. Whose side in they today? Solomon Berewa. Whose side in they today? Inganoma them. Whose side in they today? Kendeka them. Whose side in they today? Ladies and gentlemen, they all don't go. Lona no say, Momo they all don't go. Pashaki they all, Nana blessed memory. Let you know say, mortal man to God. If they can hold one whole country to ransom, you say they show you power, he they show you bagbati. Now you get influence. Now he they talk to other people then. Now he they stop ECOWAS then. For let them not come. He they use his power, but that power they not been getting. Now people then cry till you get the power. Today they use that power they against the people there. Let not say mortal man, not to God. Ladies and gentlemen. Wallah, immortal man unto God. I make God say, Kuluman alayha fani. Everything they vanished at this world. Now only the power of Almighty Allah they left. And the Bible say, you are Mr. Dust. From the